Alright. What's up, everybody, and welcome back. Well, I've been doing a lot of experiments recently to try and spice up the Starcraft 2 meta, and we were doing a show match with, who do we have? Hero and Dark, right? Best of 7, 8 worker start, really fun, I thought it would be. Ended up being decent. It was okay. Dark hero games are always fun and chaotic, but I didn't feel like either player actually leaned into the lower worker start mod. Every time there was a lull in the gameplay of this show match, and it felt like, oh, you could rush mutas, or you could divert into a really cute Immortal Sentry push or something like that, the players, basically, you could just tell they were conditioned by the 12 worker start. So what did they do? They went, take another base, build more workers. Every time there was a lull, take another base, build more workers, take another base, build more workers. It was very much the same sort of instincts that they have from modern StarCraft. You could see them applying to the 8 worker start. So whilst the games were quite fun, it didn't feel like they were as drastically different or as interesting as they could have been. And I really don't think the potentiality of having less workers and rushing tech was ever utilized in that series. Funnily enough, Day9 was watching that series as well, and he came out with a really cool idea. He pointed out here in this tweet, he said, here's a cool idea for, the future of StarCraft competition. It's inspired from watching Pigs 8 worker casts. He said, how about every tournament round has different start conditions? So you have worker count starts at a different number each game, mineral count different count, gas count a different count. He said the players just learn the constraints a minute before the match, or everything else is kept the same, but the small differences in the start conditions will force players to lean towards improvisation. Does this even sound cool at all, or am I crazy? And I thought this was genius, guys. So of course, we got OmniSkeptic in, we did make a mod, and what we've ended up doing, very close to what he suggested here, we went 6 to 12 workers at 25 to 200 minerals. We kept the gas at 0 start, just so you still have to go for the gas to commit to that, but you guys can let me know if you want me to change that for a future one. Even then, and I was ready to go, and I was thinking, what pros do I get in? Maybe I should get some more creative pros. And I realized even if I get the Astrayas and the Gumihos of this world to play, they're still so conditioned by the 12 worker start games. It's probably going to take them multiple days practicing this mod, which is going to be hard to get them on board to do, to really utilize the range of strategies that should open up if you end up on a 5 or 6 worker start, or you end up with 200 minerals at the very start of the game. And so instead of getting current pro gamers, I've taken 2 of the most infamous, cheesiest players that played in Wings of Liberty, played in Heart of the Swarm, played in Legacy of the Void, and aren't active right now, which means they're not stuck in the mindset of a certain meta and a certain way of playing things. And as a result, I was hoping that they would be creatively much more open to trying different things, reaching back into their memories from builds from 10, 15 years ago. And that's exactly what happened. So without further ado, let's get into the show match. Alright. What's up, everybody, and welcome back. We got ourselves a big series here. It's going to be the random mod. That's right. 7 worker count start, 100 starting minerals. And every game in this best of show match between Bly in the bottom right side of the map and Haas in the top right, as we spawned in on Whirlwind, is going to start with a random number between 0 and 200 minerals. In this case, it was a 100 mineral start. And not only that, is going to be random between 6 and 12 workers. Now, when you start with less workers, it does mean that you do also get less supply from your hatcheries, your nexus, and your command centers. You can see here, pylon's gone down. The nexus only gives 12 supply here, I believe, with the 7 worker start by the looks of it. Actually, sorry, 11 supply, I should say. And interestingly, Bly purposely has embraced the supply block. He has gone for an 11 pool, and he's now doing a double extractor trick to get 2 more drones above his supply. Thing is, he does not know where his opponent is. And he needs that Overlord. Okay, so the Overlord is building. It's not perfectly timed out, but he's actually done this really well. This Overlord's going to pop to be almost perfectly synced with the pool. This is what I love about these two. These two guys are so aggressive and so creative, and I have just forced them out of retirement as players who don't really practice actively that much, but have decades of experience in StarCraft, and are always 2 of the cheesiest players, but also the players who very early on and very quickly figure out new build orders. And is he going to go for a hatchery? He could run up and try to... Oh, he can't hatchery block on this map because the gas is there. He could try to build it up here, but I don't think you can stop a wall off from going down. What he could do is go in just a little bit ahead of the Zerglings to, of course, stop a probe from walling off for a few seconds. But, oh, has scouted really early, and he's going to see it. He sees the 6 Zerglings on the way across the map. He needs to wall off. He's going to try and build a pylon on the far right side of the wall off. He needs to start building gateways, forges, anything he can. The drone is already there in the wall off. And interestingly, he's going to go for a hatchery by the looks of it. No, he's changed his mind. He says, you know what, let's make this as awkward as possible. Haas, he's got money, but he's not using it right now. He's got money, but he's not using it. Haas! Oh no! Oh, he's in trouble. He's in trouble right now. Okay, Zealot's going to be coming out. Pylon is going to be taking some damage there. Haas has a Zealot out as well as a bunch of probes, though. Can he navigate the chaos? I'm surprised he's not walled off with just like a gateway here or something like that, but Zerglings are on the inside. Zealot is out. Second Zealot's almost there as well. You want to wait for the second Zealot before you fight. Haas, notice he's pulling back. He's waiting for the second Zealot. Good pullbacks for him. He's losing a lot of mining time, but keep in mind there's only 11 workers for Bly, who is now building a hatchery behind this as well. And it does look like he might be thinking about letting that hatchery finish. The Zerglings at the front are gathering up. How many probes just went down? 3 probes went down in total. I think 1 in the natural and now 2 in the main base. Probes being pulled to the front. They're going to get rid of that hatchery. And the probes and the Zealots, they're thinking about going back to mine in the main, but that means you're leaving the gateway undefended, which is a big problem because the Nexus is taking so much damage. The probes here are going to try and fight over there. It does use a bit of the mineral trick, but that means, oh, Bly is finding big damage right now. Bly starts to drone behind it. Bly is still down 7 workers. You have to realize just how committed he is off this opening. If Haas was able to defend it all, then he absolutely might have been able to do something here, but it looks like it was just a bit too awkward of a wall-off positioning for him. And he's not quite able to hang on. He's going to try and rebuild a pylon there on the natural. Zergling goes for that pylon as well. These Lings dancing around the probes, and the Zealots trying to chase back these Zerglings. Oh, he goes for the wraparound, but there's only one Zealot. There's only one Zealot. The probes, they try to let the Zealot do the tanking. Good micro for Haas, but he's only up 2 workers now. The damage has pretty much been done. As the gateway gets repowered, Adept does start up. Probes start attacking the hatchery. Zealot does chase into the main against those 4 Zerglings. Probes should be ready to fight, and indeed they will be. The Zerglings incredibly low. Behind this, first Queen's out. Second Queen is on the way as well. Bly on 16 workers on 2 base. The hatchery that's going to be delaying things even further. Adept's finally here. She can say goodnight to this as, one more probe does go down, which kind of sucks for Haas. But if Haas can get across maybe with the Adept, do some counter damage, that could actually be massive. I really feel like he's going to wait for the second Adept. He knows 2 Adepts is a very lethal sort of timing, but Link Speed's already started for Bly, so he's got to get over there before Link Speed finishes to force Bly off the drones. Right now, Bly droning is getting himself into a very good spot. Hatchery's going to go down. Oh, he builds 4 Zerglings just before the hatchery falls. So Bly continuing to commit to the aggression. Can the Zealot defend 4 Zerglings on its own? Maybe, maybe not. Can't be losing this gateway again, and he has to cancel the shade. This forces him to... Yeah, and then he cancels the eggs and gets the refund. He's like, well, I kept your Adepts back. That bought me enough time to get Ling Speed. Now I'm going to go Baneley Nest. Bly playing a filthy style right now. This is awesome. This is absolutely filthy. Obviously, I still wonder, with Haas, with that pylon placement, couldn't he have just built a gateway there, guys? I feel like he could have just built a gateway and a full wall-off to buy time. I think would have been the player, at least leave only a tiny opening where he could have held the choke point. But once those Lings were in, it's always hard to deal with Lings in 2 places at once. And that makes things awfully hard. Now, Bly wants to surround these Adepts and then do 1 big Bane bust. I'm surprised Bly is showing... Yeah, there we go. Bly wants to hide his Zergling count, which is absolutely the correct move, because he's going for a big Baneling bust to try and win the game. Doesn't want Haas to know about it at a time. Those 2 Adepts go in. I think they only got 1 drone. And he's just going to die to the counterattack now. Too much damage in the early game. And Bly has found a way to get himself a lovely, cheesy victory to start things off. 4-player map is always dangerous. And what's interesting is with like a 7-worker start, normally if you scout early, you should be able to stop it in time. With 100 mineral start, it definitely accelerated the speed of the rush, right? On the other hand... It was an 11 pool. It was not a 7 pool, right? It was I'm just going to build 4 drones, then build my spawning pool, then double extractor trick. It was not all in. And I do think Haas had time to respond. But, oh, can the force field save him? I don't think so. The sentry does spread there. Wait, if he could get a stalker in the wall before the Zerglings get in there, then maybe. Dude, that was actually an impressive hold for Haas. He has the natural halfway done. Main base oversaturated right now. Stalker's in the wall. Wow, very impressive play. And Bly actually commits to a bit of a Baneling bust, doesn't find the damage he needs. New sentry warping in. I'd love to see Haas move the sentry back in the main to use energy recharge, but like I said, I don't even know how much these guys have played on this balance patch, so it's going to be interesting to see if they're familiar with those abilities at all. Now, Bly has already lost a mineral patch in the main. Keep in mind, guys, I actually forgot to mention one of the things here as well is each base has varying minerals. 700, 900, 1100, 1300, 1500, 1700, 2100, and another 1900 patch. The idea being the bases are going to mine out a bit more gradually. They're going to start with the full 8. You can see here, this one's down to 400, then 700, 1,000, 1,100, 1,300. So you're going to have a much more gradual mining out, which is going to reward you a little more if you do expand a bit faster and have more mineral patches available. And it just means the economy isn't going to be so sudden in terms of, oh, a base is half gone, massive drop in income. Oh, another half a base is gone. It's going to be more of a gradual burn down of the minerals on each base. And I just think that's going to be interesting to hopefully reward mass expanding a little bit more by just giving you more efficient spots for those workers to mine from. It's not a very brutal change. It's a very like soft, small change. This was one a lot of the map makers had suggested. And yeah, I was like, okay, you guys, OmniSkeptic was nice enough to just take the initiative, throw it into the mod. And I was like, oh, I actually love this. I actually love this change. Why not? Forge coming in right now with +1. Guys, it's a big gateway pressure. He knows he needs to do damage right now. Haas is forcing out the Roach Ravager, but I think when he sees those Ravagers, he may need to run. He's going to try and dive in the base. It's a bit of a gamble. He's so far behind in this game. I don't think it's going to work out. He tries to recall, but he already loses 3 sentries and the Stalker, and I think rightfully so. Haas does GG. Bit too far behind from that early game, and if we go back here, I mean, he definitely had the money, and I don't think that hatchery was blocking a gateway from going down, so definitely a little surprised that we didn't just see a gateway here, guys. Yeah, gateway could have gone down there, I'm pretty sure. And he still, I mean, I guess this pylon kind of blocked him from doing it, but if he goes gateway there, there's a diagonal opening on that side, and he has to build another pylon back there. But I mean, he's got the money, right? He's got 160 minerals. If he goes gateway here, pylon back here, that's going to buy him a lot of time. I guess the only downside is that Zerglings could potentially slide in and get decent surface area on that pylon, but I think your Zealot would save it in time. Either way, GG, well played. All right, into the next one. We've got an 11 worker start, 25 starting minerals, blind the bottom left side here as well. Just checking those minerals are gradually improving. Yes, they are. Fantastic. I'm happy to see it. Haas in the top right side. It's going to be Talisman, guys. Now, if you guys aren't familiar with this map, you actually have a normal base down here as your expansion. However, you also have this little worker-only path. This is a worker-only path. Basically, only workers can squeeze through that. It's specifically designed to be tiny, and workers can get in and out, but no other unit can move up and down there. That leads you to this 4 gold patch base, which is obviously amazing. A very nice gold base there. It's a really, really, really beautiful one. However, it is cut off by rocks. So until those rocks come down, you're not going to be able to get out there to defend. So it's very risky to take it. You can see Hat's already using this path to take a look around. And he is thinking about, of course, taking it. As a Protoss player, you can have warp-ins pretty early. If you go down there and build your production on the outside, you could go for it. Likewise, as a Zerg, you could get out a bunch of units and take those rocks. So Bly already going down his backdoor path, and he is going to be going for that. He's sending a drone across the map as well. And he might actually use that to block Haas from taking the base, which would be really interesting. Haas, it looks like, going for a gate expand towards the gold base. Drone comes in. He's going to realize what's happening pretty quickly. Can he get there in time to block it? I think he can. Oh my gosh, I think he can get there. Oh, Bly, you cheeky bugger. Bly is going to be so annoying to play against in this show match. I always thought Bly was a bit of a dirty genius, and he's going to... Oh, Reactive Forge. Haas is going to cannon him. Haas is like, okay, well, you can literally only pull workers down here. I'm going to cannon your face. And yeah, he's already got a pylon out there. He can build a pylon here as well. And look at that. Bly comes down, realizes, oh god, it's a 2-pylon wall off. Okay. So we got ourselves in trouble. Man, this is going to be ridiculous. The drone had to back away because the probe did beat it off. And Haas, he does go for what appears to be, I think he's going to build a cannon down there. Okay, he's going to go for a cannon down here first of all. No, cannon up there. And I think he realizes, hey, you're not going to commit to defending this because that would be crazy to do. So Bly cancels it at the last second. He's actually gone for a middle base with 6 minerals and, of course, the purple gas there as well. Now, this is going to be wild, dude. This is going to be absolutely chaotically messy. Drone moving up to that left side as well. Probe going after it right now. And he's going to see an extra hatchery there. So Haas does not know about the middle one just yet. Doesn't have his own hatchery, but he's already got his cyber core finished, which means his tech is up a lot earlier. He can start chronoing adepts across the map against a guy who's spawning pool. Yes, it's finished, but there's no gas started just yet. Seeing the purple gas as well, that's going to be big. Oh, he doesn't see the gas, but he sees the hatchery, so he can surmise that that is what's going to happen. Those adepts' job is going to be deny that gas from mining early on. Do not let these drones start mining that gas. And that is Haas's job. If he can do that, I think he can absolutely get into like Oracle, start harassing, and be a big old nuisance. For now, though, first adept not quite out, and those drones are about to start doing some very rich gas delivery. That's a double efficiency mining on that. Bly going for broke right now. The Adept going to come out forwards for Haas, see what he can find on Talisman, see if he can start working towards tying up this series. The Forge being there does give him the potential for upgrades, but he's going to go Twilight Council. Haas wants to be ground focused this game. There's no Queen out, no Zerglings. Bly has been incredibly greedy. He has to be punished for this. Haas is already up 6 or 7 workers, and oh, he does get some nice Adept hits here, taking out a drone. Multiple Spore Tricks already being used as well. The Adept canceling the Shade, and he's already gathering just way too many kills. Bly right now. Oh man, he's taking big damage. This is painful for Bly. He went for very greedy follow-up, going for this purple gas base, and he just went too deep on the greed. You know, when you've blocked the Protoss' base, you've forced him to build some tech on one base, you really have screwed him over. And I think Bly just overestimated how big the cannon investment was there, and it just wasn't as big as he thought it was. Queens should be able to deal with this Adept now. She's only got 19 hit points. One more hit should take her out. Oh, and she does go down. All right, Bly does clean up the Adept, but it's a blink follow-up, so it's going to be a 2-base blink all-in. Not a bad way to play here for Haas. Question is, does he go Robo, or does he actually just try to proxy out there? He can sneak a probe out the back door, try and build a gateway on the left side of the map. And if he does that, that could actually be amazing, right? If he could hide a pylon out there on that side of the map, that could be huge. +1 attack is about halfway done. Blink about halfway done as well, going up to 4 gateways. He's got a cannon and a sentry here just for a little bit of safety, does Haas. And of course, on 40 probes against 27 drones, he's miles ahead. 9 more workers coming in for Bly. He does have a Roach Horn available, but he's not going for any sort of all-in. It's a defensive Roach Horn, as far as I can tell. Interesting that Bly's taking these rocks down on the left side. I guess his plan is like, hey, if you start taking that base, I want to be able to threaten your front and then attack up here and kind of rotate between those two options to see where I can do damage. Pylon on the back door, making sure there's no drone sneaking into his base. Haas does have a 4th gate, 5th gate, and a robo coming in, but he may be taking a bit long to move out. I actually think Haas's timing here might be a bit off, because he's giving time for Bly to go Mass Overlord. Oh, he's still only on 1 gas. I'd say that's the biggest problem for Bly right now. He basically needs to go pure roach production, otherwise he's just in so much danger. Yes, he saw a cannon, which is a sign of greed, a sign of defensive play, but there's only 2 bases. He builds 10 more drones, and he builds 2 spores. Oh god, he's just... Nah, I think Bly's being too greedy. From being this far behind early, he needed to stop at 45 workers and do nothing but make Roach Ravager Zergling. If he does nothing but that now, maybe, but he's going gases as well. He thinks it's Sky Toss. The cannon has fooled him. The cannon has fooled him, guys, and the full wall off. But it's actually just blink. He's going to blink across. Prism's on the way behind, and he needs to build building roaches. He's just started them now. Haas going for it. This is such a crazy build for Haas. Bly did not expect this. Bly caught flat-footed right now, trying to build roaches and zerglings, but he is back up 10 workers. We'll see if he can recover from this situation. I would be fascinated if he could. 5 Ravagers on the way, 4 roaches building also. And I really feel this is so fun, because we are seeing who is the most flexible and able to adapt to the scenario. And so far, it looks like Haas is a little ahead in this one, but has he taken too long? Has he been a little indecisive at finishing the game? I'm not quite sure. He's got another pylon. He's got +1 armor in the way. Once he gets to the high ground, he can easily deny mining on that base, or even deny the gas from over here without overcommitting. But it feels like for a 2-base all-in, he's just taking too long. I have to be critical right now and go, dude, I think we're giving way too much time for Bly to mass Overlords, Roaches, Ravagers, Zerglings. Probably should float that Overlord back. Bit of a mistake there for Bly. Does pull it back now. But, I mean, with enough Zerglings, he might be able to just overwhelm. How good is Haas's Blink Micro today? Let's find out. Haas very good at small and medium scale fights usually, but he blinks everything at once. Those 3 Stalkers on the top blinking pretty nicely. We'll see if the Prism can do some more fancy Micro. He's trying to do some good stutter step, and I gotta say, overall, that was really well done by Haas. Did he lose a Stalker? No, he did not. He got 20 Zergling kills. Observer will be going down. No, he pulls it out of Spore range. Really nicely done there. The Observer might accidentally move into Spore range now, though. And, oh, he does lose it. Little unfortunate. Stalker's up front. Does he blink back individually? Good blink back so far. But you can still see the creeps out here a little bit. That Warp Prism is a bit exposed. Stalker's still trying to blink back. Whenever they're off cooldown, that is, of course. And as you turn around to run away, he's going to blink forward. Haas. Oh, a little bit overambitious with that one, I think. He tries to warp it on the front, which is a crazy move. Haas, as if not, just warp it over here, mate. Bly fighting for control very well, and he gets a creep tumor down, which is actually very impressive. But a new observer arrives, so it's only going to buy him so much time. Bly is up 10 workers. He's up in army supply. The Stalker Sentry is the much more efficient army, even though there's only 1 sentry here that he brought That sentry with its wave of force fields could be devastating. Good force fields to start. Third one goes down as well. That's so many Zerglings, though. Stalker's just not the unit you really want against that. Haas microing in and out very nicely. Roach speed is almost finished. That's going to be a massive boon to Bly, helping those roaches that aren't already in Ravager form. Force field goes down, does slow things a little bit. Good pullbacks on the Warp Prism, and overall his micro has just been fantastic. Haas. He's been blink microing for years, and he knows how to do it. He's going to focus down 3 Ravagers with a blink forward and a Queen. I think that was super worth the Stalker that he trades for that. But Creep Tomb is there, and he barely takes that one down as well. Third base of Bly is under threat. +2 attack starts up, as well as the third Nexus behind this for Bly, for Haas. Haas on the front here with his Stalkers, dancing in and out, trying to blink back his units. It's so fascinating watching this start up because it feels like it's a little bit more intuitive rather than pre-planned what's happening in this game. And that's, of course, every Bly Haas game. But it's like I just gave a Bly versus Haas game cocaine. I just gave them some crack, and I said, guys, let's amp it up a little bit and see what the chaos can bring. Stalker's on the right side, Roach Ravager on the left. Queen's trying to defend the base. The Stalker's trying to blink back. He's going to keep pulling back, and I think he's managed to do it. Oh, has he, though? Oh, my God, that's still quite a few biles. The army supply was still ahead for Bly for a while, but as the Roach and Ravager starts to get hit with no Zergling buffer, the army supply just plummeted for Bly. He just lost about 30 army supply, whilst the Stalker count is still very good. 21 Stalkers have gone down, but for 100 Zerglings and so many Roaches and Ravagers. Third base, there is a new one over on that right side. It's on that gold base. The drones are going to transfer over there now. Remember, it's up behind the rocks, which is why they had to go around the other way through the worker-only path. New Creep Tumors are out. Roach Ravager, Ling Queen trying to defend. Bly trying to hang on. But remember, with 1-1 Stalkers against 0-0 Roach Ravager and good Blink Micro, the numbers, I think, are a bit too similar throughout, which is why Haas is able to wear him down. Haas's third base now mining as well. Remember, that is a 4 gold base, gold mineral base. Now, Haas doesn't really need to kill him. He just needs to move around and deny the gold base. If he could do that, it would be just as effective, or if he just keeps trading efficiently on the front. But with the creep coming back out, he's going to start a new Observer. We've got Stalkers warping in from pretty far away on that Warp Prism. Just doesn't want to have to keep on sieging and sieging that every time the Ravagers go for a bile attempt. A couple of Overlords going down is really nice. And, oh, yeah, he's a bit too deep. He's a bit too deep right now. The Lings are going to try and punish. That's 1 Stalker, 2 Stalker, 3 Stalkers going down. Very nicely done there. 4th Stalker as well, Bly. But he's so low on units, the Stalkers blink forward and say, Ravager no more. Roach on the right side is there. The Stalkers are going to be rotating now, saying, know what? There is no way we should be letting this base survive. Blinks forward, takes out the Roach. Does he go for the drones or the hatchery? He's going to go for the drones. And I think that's the right call. He could also move up into the main base since that mineral patch has now been removed. Oh, me, oh my. I did not realize that that would open up so early. That's crazy, man. The Stalkers, there's just so many of them. I don't think there's enough units for Bly anymore. Haas has done it here, answering the gold base plus drone block with a reactive cannon rush. And he does so well with that. Very nicely done. So it looks like this one was also open here as well. Was that open from the start? Or maybe there's another mineral patch there that just takes a few trips to mine out. That's interesting. GG, well played. All right, guys. We're going basically back to Wings of Liberty. It's a 6-worker start with 75 starting minerals on Alterzim Altar. That's right. Haas is in the top left. Bly is in the bottom left. Let's check these minerals. Looks like they've loaded in at varying values. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so some of these are a little bit lower, actually, for whatever reason on this map than inside the previous map. With this gradual kind of mineral thing we're doing, it is not always, you know, exactly the same, I've noticed. It's slightly inconsistent for whatever reason due to the way we've modded it, but it's pretty darn close. It just means these main bases, we're going to have a couple patches mine out real early as they've only started with 700 minerals on them. Check that it's the same up here for him, 630 on that one, and we should have another one that's, yeah, only 700 on that far right. Though he's actually not mining from it early, which is good for Haas. Whereas Bly, I believe, is mining off his light patch very, very quickly. Now, going to be an early scout here for Haas coming in. It's going to be more of a quote-unquote macro opening for Bly, I think, because he knows after game 1, 4-player map, you're going to scout really early, and that's a big cost to your economy when you start with so few workers. Keep in mind, guys, it is only a couple of supply for the different buildings, so I think it's... Is this 6 work? Is this 2 supply for the hatchery? Because we've got 2 overlords out, right? Which is 8 plus 8, which is 16, which means the hatchery only gives 2 supply. So yeah, Wings of Liberty style, And we've got a pylon out, of course, which is 8 supply. So the Nexus only gives 10 supply. Yeah, so this is indeed the Wings of Liberty supply values there. And he's going to take a hatchery on the third is Bly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 mineral patches on that base, as it did get blocked on the natural. He's also thinking about going 3 hatchery before pool, which with the hatcheries being a bit cheaper now, the queens being a bit more expensive, is even more attractive than it was on the previous patch. But on the current version of the game, that's actually definitely something players are going to be considering doing. Interesting gateway placement over here. I guess, yeah, not too bad. He can go pylon there, like Cybercore there, gateway there, or whatever he wants to do. Nexus goes down, and Haas does have good scouting this game, but he's going to need a pylon very soon. You can see he goes Nexus, then Cybercore on 17. Going gas this early, I think, is actually inadvisable when you start with such a low worker count. So I think this is Haas not quite remembering the old build orders and stuff, and just the general ordering, getting used to it, and realizing he will realize, oh man, I'm going to have so much gas, like, you know, way earlier than I need it to be, and be a little supply blocked. On the other hand, Bly going 3 hatchery before pool. This was very popular in Heart of the Swarm, not so much in Wings of Liberty, because I guess the maps were so small in Wings, but here on Alterzim Altar, I think he's getting away with it, at least for the early start. Are we going to see an Adept shade out is what I'd love to see. 2 Adepts going across. Oh, Robo. Okay, so it is going to be an Adept and a Robo. Chrono Boost should be going down. There we go. Sorry for the tabbing back and forth. I just couldn't believe he wasn't chronoing, but he was just a little bit delayed on starting it. 2 queens start up. No third queen on the natural, just 1 in the main, and the third base for Bly so far. Now, on this map, obviously, they've spawned kind of on the same side. It's a little bit awkward because, like, Blink Stalkers attacking here could blink up and down the cliff, really be a nuisance. Force fields here can be kind of brutal if they like drop in your main and force field you or something like that. There are a few nasty choke points. This area is pretty decently sized though at the third, and I just really wonder, because your third base is quite exposed here as Protoss, and then your fourth base has to be either out there or all the way over here, and that's where you really need to be able to control these watchtowers to defend that later on. Bly, 38 supply, 31 out of 38, 23 workers. Protoss is on 24 probes. Stalker will push that back. Prism's on the way. That'll help spot the high ground and allow the Zealot to take care of that Overlord. I think Bly's opening should put him slightly further ahead, but he's also invested in a reasonably fast link speed, so not really that big of a change. Only 1 gas. Oh, this just slows Zealot all in? Guys, are we going to see 6 gateways go down? Yeah, Haas builds a pylon there and an Immortal, and he's not building any more probes this game. I think he'll probably just leave it at that. Yeah, he's completely pulled off gas. Oh my god, he's going to do single Prism, single Immortal, and he's just going to go with Mass Zealot. So watch for like the 6 Zealots to come out now as well. Does he have an Adept, by the way? I thought he built an Adept, but it looks like he must have cancelled that Adept and changed his mind. So he's got 3, 4 gateways coming in, and the thing is, as Bly, you got to be scouting. If it's a Robo, you need to be poking in with Overlords, or threatening the front with a Ling Flood to force him to show his hand. But Bly has not committed to that, and scouting was so much more important with these slower worker starts. You know, the Overlords are still fast. These are still Legacy of the Void Overlords. They're quite quick. But, oh my god, he sees it. He sees the Immortal. He sees the Immortal. He's got Lings on the way. Rotron as well. Haas is doing a 26 probe Zealot all in, guys. It is a 6-gate Zealot, single Immortal with a Warp Prism. Bly on 31 drones. He's building units already, but he needs Roaches to deal with the Zealots. Dealing with it with just Zerglings and Queens? Maybe, actually maybe, at least this way, he wouldn't have any armored units for that Immortal to deal with. The question is, does he have the numbers to overwhelm the Zealot count? That really is the question. Sees the Zealots to the south. Haas, did he notice that? Did he notice he sees the Zerglings? Okay, he should realize this is a situation you don't want to get surrounded too hard here. The Warp Prism comes forward. He's going after the Queens, but he's got to be careful. He's got to stay in a nice tight formation. He's a little bit spread out. The Warp Prism getting hit by the Queens. If he gets the Prism, that would be huge. Oh, massive move for Bly. The Immortal and the Zealots trying to hold on right now, but without the Warp Prism, he can't keep warping it on the front. That is a huge problem. The Immortal here is going to have to take out that Roach that's standing next to him. The Immortal does take out that Roach. The Zealot's doing pretty big damage. And look at this, guys. He's actually going to run away with the Immortal. He knows he needs to wait for round 2 with the Immortal, but the Zealots continue to find actually really good damage. Bly getting in here and causing a surprising amount of damage. Oh, Haas, sorry, is causing a surprising amount of damage to Bly, I should say. 26 workers versus 26. He killed, what, 5 workers. He did lose his Prism, but the Immortal is going to run away. Oh my god, he left his Immortal in the open. Why is it still there? Oh, no! It survives. It survives, guys. Only 15 hit points. It's very low on life, but with the Warp Prism, he's still going to have a very real threat with that. and its barrier will come back as well. So he's going to continue across this map. Bly trying to counterattack, but that means he's caught on the map. The Immortal could try to drop on the roaches to chase them, but that's always going to be a little awkward. Is he going to go back on gas? I would go back on gas if I was Haas here, right? I would absolutely do that. But look at this. He's going to try and chase him down now. He's got to be careful about getting that focused by the roaches, but I think with the barrier, he might be okay. These roaches being this far out might be a huge mistake, and I really feel like he could be even more aggressive with how he chases this down. He's got to watch out for that Spore Crawler, but the Prism is healthy this time around, and look at how much damage that Immortal does. Nice pullback for Bly, though. Does get back to the safety of creep. He's got a Spine Crawler, a Baneling Nest coming in. He's trying to get some extra tech. The Zergling Surround is actually really good on the Reinforce. Big mistake to lose to be rallying those Zealots when he could just be making them at home, or sorry, from the Warp Prism, but I think he's going to give up on the Zealot rally and just kind of warp in on the front now. Surprisingly, he's not going in just yet. He's going to try and move around to the third, taking his time. This game is an absolute hot mess. As these worker patches start to mine out, that second one's about to, he should transfer workers over to his natural as well. We'll see if Haas picks up on that. Bly has already transferred out of the main. Third base under assault. Roachling is there. Banelings are coming in. Biglings around on the right side, but he needs the Banelings to connect just right. Oh, there's only one Immortal to shoot them down. Those first two Banelings are devastating. The Immortal that time does take down the last Baneling before it can get the big Omega hit, but those Banelings already doing so much damage to these Zealots. The Zealots' main power is their tankiness. Oh, the Immortal goes on. It barely survives at the last second. He's going to warp in more Zealots, and he's going to do some hot drops with that Immortal. It's on 13 kills. It can take care of the Spine Crawler very quickly as well, but look at that. Zealots come in from Zerglings come in from behind. Beautiful engagement for Bly, and Haas has to tap out. Nail-bitingly close, but I really think that all came down to the Prism snipe. If he kept the Prism alive, Haas would have been fine. Great positioning for Bly, though, to take care of that. All right. Onto a modern map, guys. It is going to be Whispers of Gold, Bly in the top left, Haas in the bottom right. 8 workers start. Starting minerals 125. And we are going to be seeing the players use that for an immediate pylon on the low ground and a spawning pool coming out. That's an 8 pool for Bly, and it's a very fast 8 pool because of that massive amount of starting minerals. So it's not the same as a normal 8 worker start because they have their early minerals just catapulted forwards. You could see Haas immediately chronoed probes at the start and then built that pylon, and he's going to go for a gateway and then scout, and I think that should be enough time to see what's happening and react to what's going on as long as he scouts. But oh my god, he's playing greedy. He's playing very greedy right now. Haas, you got to be careful, mate. No scout versus Bly. And it's going to be very dangerous unless you're just planning to do a 2-gate opening, which I would actually love. I would love to just see a 2-gate opening. But Haas here are taking risks. I mean, against Bly, you never want to take this sort of risk against Bly. He might just be scouting after gas, but that already is going to be a little bit later than you maybe would like. This Overlord was late, so Bly not quite timing out his Overlord just because, you know, the nature of the build was your worker count so low that by building up to 11 workers or 10 workers, that might have actually been a bit too many. It slowed down the push, and maybe that gives Haas the seconds he needs to get down there and wall off that base. He might even try to go reactive forge, but I imagine he just chrono Zealots. The Zerglings, first 2 dodge. He doesn't want to give away what he's up to. And those Zerglings, he sees them. All right, Haas immediately turns around, needs to wall off, chronos a Zealot. Cybercore goes down. There's a drone down here as well. Oh, there's a drone. The drone! Oh my god, that's a problem. Okay, he's got to mineral walk through the drone, and he's got to build that pylon. Build that pylon. You know it's worth it, mate. You got to build that pylon. Okay, he's not going to build the pylon. He's just going to hold the choke point with the probes and the Zealot, and that alone should be enough here. Remember, this is a massive commitment for Bly to have gone for this. This is not a 12 pool. For the last years, we've been watching 12 pools as Zerg aggression. We forgot how much more of a commitment it is if you decide to go for a 6 pool, or in this case an 8 pool, which is not quite as crazy as a 6 pool, but still definitely up there. Second Zealot and Adept's coming out now. Oh, good turnaround for Bly on the high ground. Gets himself a probe, and he gets one on the natural as well. Great micro. Look at that. He splits those Zerglings up. Those are distraction Zerglings, but another Zergling does go down in the main base. Behind this, he would love to get a hatchery up, but Bly's economy is toasted behind this. He's building 2 more drones. He's going to need to build himself a queen because there's already a pylon blocking his base. Zealot up here does start to chase the Zerglings. Zerglings could take that down, but if the Zealot micro as well, it might do very well, which is why you can see, yeah, when the Zealot stutter steps like that, it's hard to take care of it. Hatcher in the natural is a little bit crazy. It does slow down the expand, and the problem is you don't have an expand of your own at the same time, and that is why I think Bly has overcommitted. I think going for the hatchery, something which is a really good idea just to delay them when you're playing 2024 StarCraft 2 with a 12 worker start. with the situation Bly has had in this game, I don't like this at all. And I think he desperately needs 2 Zerglings to start clearing that pylon on the natural. But it looks like he's going to take a hidden hatchery, and he's going to use this for a Ravager Ling launch pad, as I call it. So you see, cancels the hatchery, gets the money back. Drone's trying to get into the extractor. Oh, the Adept Shade actually blocked him from taking that beautiful play there by Haas. He knew that basically whenever you build an extractor, guys, or a refinery or an assimilator, it takes up a little bit more space than the building itself. So if the enemy just stands a unit next to it, you can't place it, which is a cool little trick. Nexus does go down now for Haas. Hatchery's technically up a little bit faster, but of course for Bly, he's mining gas, and he's mining gas for a reason. We might not even see Ling speed here, even though, even when he gets to 100 gas, I should say, because he might just basically say, look, I'm going to build 5 roaches from here, rally slow Zerglings. This is so all in, like I can't do any sort of more normal follow-up, and Haas has him pinned with 2 Zealots, 2 Adepts now on the map. The 4 Zerglings should be able to stop that Shade, or at least threaten him into not committing. But honestly, there's just so little defense. There's no Ling speed, there's no Roach Warren. Bly has overcommitted to the aggression, and Haas is starting to find his footing. Yes, these games are a little bit wild with the start, but Haas has figured out how to defend, and Bly going so committed on that opening. 8 pull and the hatchery block, a bit too much special sauce for him there. 2 Adepts just cancelling their Shade, forcing more Lings. Ling speeds on the way. 3rd Queen building. I mean, this hatchery's hidden. Does he build drones from this hatchery? Maybe. I just realized we're on a much faster scroll speed than normal, aren't we, guys? Oh, we're casting live, so we might as well just... It's down to my normal casting setting. My bad. So now I can't accidentally scroll if I hit the edge of the screen. Thought I had my casting settings on, but apparently not. We're still in gameplay settings. Okay, so check this out. Forge goes down, and he's thinking about another gateway, but he didn't end up building it. So it's 3-gate Forge with a couple of sentries. He's got hallucinations there. I don't know if we've... Oh, we did see him use energy recharge. So he has been using energy recharge a bit, which is cool to see for Haas. We are going to see a massive Zerglings moving out. 3 Queens ready. He does see the expansion. I mean, I think seeing the expansion is really important. He now sees the Zerglings moving forward as well. 3rd hatchery goes down for Bly, and Bly on 24 drones against the 30 Pro Protoss. Both players massively supply blocked right here. Goes to show they're just not used to the different supply, the different build orders. Things are going to be a little bit less refined. There's going to be a few more mistakes. Things are just going to be less perfect. And not that these guys ever play perfect, but if you're wondering why these supply blocks are really bad, just remember we saw Dark and Hero play 8 worker start every game, and even 3 or 4 games in, Dark was still permanently supply blocked. When I asked them for feedback on that series, by the way, Dark went and he was like, I think 3 supply for hatchery is ridiculous, basically, is what he was saying. He's like, that's so unfair, but like, and I was like, oh, what changes, like, would you guys suggest? And Hero was like, yeah, it was fine. And then Dark was like, make hatchery 4 supply, not 3 supply, and I think it's balanced. And I'm just like, man, you just forgot when to build Overlords that entire series. Drones have to abandon the base. Does surround a Zealot behind it, but man, losing this base is so deadly. Trying to make roaches at the base behind, transferring the drones back to the natural. Bly playing down 9 workers. Bly is very good at making comebacks, but I don't know. I think Haas realizes how to hedge his bets now against Bly. How to make sure things don't go too crazy. Phoenix Hallucination comes in. Only 1 gas for Bly. He has a lot of gas banked up, so he can still make a few ravages off of that, but no 3rd hatchery. He's floating a lot of minerals. Bly's got to wake up a little bit. He's got to spend that money. He's going to build just more roaches for now. 3 more overlords. I think he has to go build a 3rd base. Surely he's going to take a 2nd gas. No, he's going to go all in. I think he's decided, hey, you're a bit Zealot Sentry focused. If I just get enough Roach Ravager, maybe I can take care of it. Of course, Haas is preparing for the next step, though. +2 weapons, Blinks on the way, and Haas looks pretty darn ready to deal with whatever Bly throws back in his direction. Bly is definitely very crippled. This is one of the interesting things you see when someone gets way ahead off an early move. Whenever you have a lower worker start, it does take longer for the game to finish. And one could argue, therefore, you know, it's just as unlikely you make a comeback, and therefore, it's just, you know, it does create more games where it's a little bit slower, right? Where you're like, I mean, right now, we're pretty sure Haas is going to win this game, but the game will go for a few extra minutes. And that definitely is one of the things that I kind of notice, and a lot of sports have this as well. You know, some sports, like, if you're Australian, you know about cricket and 2020 formats. There's a lot of sports try to make it more exciting, go for a shorter, more accessible format. And it's kind of the same with StarCraft as well. Like, you know, basically, like, it's very exciting when someone gets knocked out in MMA, right? And the thing is, I understand that sometimes it's boring when you've got two fighters who fight very carefully. On the other hand, I don't want to watch Power Slap. You know, I don't want to just speed run to the concussion, if that makes sense. Like, I'm okay to pay the price of sometimes there being slower fights if it adds weight to the overall thing, if that makes sense. Not saying this is necessarily the best thing, us just randomizing and stuff, but just a few thoughts there that I think sometimes people ignore. When people just go, the only thing they're looking at is how fast and exciting is the game and nothing else. Good force fields, but dude, that actually looks like a scary Zerg army. You just have to realize there's no follow through. He's down 15 workers. Haas is threatening and pressuring right now, but he doesn't need to be. His third base is up, and he's just forcing Bly to make a lot of really basic units. Bly's lair isn't even done. He doesn't have roach speed. He's in a lot of trouble. Blink back micro is so good. Yep. Well, he does leave his sentries behind, loses one Stalker, but overall units lost up is going to paint us a picture, and that is one of Protoss dominance. So yeah, I think that's the thing in general, because this was, what was this, 8 workers we had this game, I think? Whenever you do have less workers, it does definitely create some situations where one player is way behind, but because both players are just a little bit lower overall in economy, it can take a while to finish off. But I mean, and that's always something that's going to exist in StarCraft in general. Oh, he kills his own Stalker, does Haas. Oh, that Stalker gets surrounded up there as well. Ravager Link coming in. Stalker's trying to stutter step away. Does try to blink back that one Stalker to save it. He's still on the front line though, and the Lings will take care of that Stalker. The rest of them though, stutter stepping fantastically well. 4th base, as well as +1 armor on the way. Tries to move up the ramp. Bly takes advantage of him with some good volleying, but the next ones are preemptive blinks. They dodge the Roach Ravager attacks. Roach speed is on the way. Bly still only on 39 workers, 2 base economy. He is pretty much dead in the water. And I think with the 8 or 9 gateways, actually it's only 6 gateways. That's fascinating. Haas doing this off a very budget amount of production, but he's just got so much done here. Main base for Haas down to 12 workers, as is Bly's in terms of only 6 mineral patches remaining. This is kind of what I do enjoy about this. You can see this mineral patch 100 left, 70 left, 520, 600, 1,000, 900. I do like this gradual mining out of the minerals. It's just kind of nice. A little bit less of just such a sudden, jagged, half your base is gone, half your base is gone. Stalker's coming down, Link's going for the counterattack. Bly right now trying to fight. I've seen him make epic comebacks, but Haas, even though he's a master of throws, not in this game, not against Bly. I think when he's playing against a macro god, sometimes he does throw the game, but against a guy like Bly, I think he realizes how to make sure Bly's cheeky maneuvers on heavy army play, low economy play, is not going to catch him out. I mean, he's on mass Blink Stalker right now. He does want to keep trading. I do want to see things like Storm. I want to see a Robo for Observer to clear creep. +2 armor is really good. That helps a lot against the Zerglings. He's also going up to 8 gateways now as the Zerglings roam around that right side of the map. Army's starting to push through here. Ravager Ling on the left. He's got Lings ready to flank from the right. There's just not enough Zerg. There's about as many Zerglings as there are Stalkers, and that's never good. Stalker's trying to get out of there. He does blink back. Only eats a tiny bit of the biles there. And the Stalker stutter steps very nice. Haas has the numbers. He's got the triple upgrade advantage. And the moment those Lings are gone, you know he's going to blink forward, and the Ravagers are going to get blasted. Those biles could land. Does take out one Stalker, but he's losing every Ravager, and those are irreplaceable. Meanwhile, 4-base Protoss can easily replenish this army. Bly taps out Haas, ties up the series 2-2. All right, guys. We're on Frost now. 9 workers start. Starting minerals 25, which means you can't even start a worker at the start of the game. You have to mine for a little bit before you go for that drone or probe. Haas at the bottom left side of the map here. 13 supply for a Nexus, 3 supply for a hatchery on this 9 worker start. It is best of 7, of course. Let's flip the scoreboard around, back on 2-2. And it's going to be a 12 pylon for Haas. And of course, an Overlord on 11 supply for Bly. Built 1 more drone, and then as that Overlord pops, he'll continue droning. Now, Haas did say just before we started, Zerg map, and he's got cross map as well, so it's definitely pretty good for Zerg macro play. On the other hand, one could argue that it's not too bad. I mean, the 3rd base is pretty out there, the 4th base as well. One could argue it's not bad for Protoss because it's so big and it's kind of hard for Zerg to push you. Problem is, of course, going to be the fact that Haas is not really a macro player, right? Neither is Bly, but maybe Bly's a little bit more of a macro player than Haas in this matchup. I think Oracle openings, you know, Oracle Adept opening, into a third, into Blink could actually be amazing on this map against a guy like Bly. But cross map, man, 4-player map's gonna be crazy. So far, we've done 4-player, 2-player map, 4-player, 2-player map. Haas has lost both of the 4-player maps, and he's won both the 2-player maps. So, you know, maybe we are seeing, I don't know if it's a balance thing, a bit of a stylistic thing. One would think you're messing the game up, you're making the builds a bit weird. Protoss is a little more vulnerable, and 4-player maps are also gonna, you know, make you a bit more vulnerable. But also your bases tend to be a bit more spread out on these older maps, right? I mean, he was very close to taking down Bly on Alterzim Altar, to be fair. That Immortal Zealot push. Like, you know, I don't think any of this is settled in stone because, like, neither player's builds are going to be that tight, right? And I really think, like, scouting and stuff is going to be pretty big. Now, don't get me wrong. I think one of the biggest things we could say that's, like, Zerg favored about this mod right now is I haven't changed the Overlord scouting, like, movement speed. Having the Overlord movement speed change, like, percentage-wise based on the worker start, just a bit too finicky and hard to do and hard to factor in how that weighs into things. So these are just the 12 worker start Overlords, which got a big speed boost in Legacy of the Void, and that does change things a little bit as well, right? Where that should technically allow the Zerg to scout a lot easier. On the other hand, I don't know if that's actually what's going to end up happening because you still need to have them in position. Giant maps like this, it is tough to do. Now, there is a quick third hatchery coming in for Bly, so it's 2 hatcheries, Overlord into a third hatchery, and he's got 100 gas, and he's pulled 2 off, and he's starting link speed. So he's just going to be droning up. Doesn't need to remember Overlords. With the Nexus finishing up, Haas is looking pretty decent on the economy. He's going Twilight, and I like I said, I really wish he would have gone Sky Toss this game. Or either Oracle opening, or even go like straight up just play full Sky Toss or something crazy like that. Oh my god, if this Overlord's going left, I don't think it's going to see this. He wants to warp in Dark Templar from here. This is a Dark Templar, probably into Glaive Adept, or you know. Oh, is he even going to build a Robo there? Is he going to build a Dark Shrine here as well? Twilight Council's about to finish. He doesn't have 150 gas yet, but oh my gosh. Oh, very unlucky for Bly, very lucky for Haas, or almost very unlucky for Haas is another way to say it. And it's a charge load all in. He's pulled off gas. He's pulled off his 2 gases. He's only got 1 worker on gas. He's not walled off his base, which is a little bit funky. Does try to chrono his Nexus, which I feel like is a mistake here. There we go, second gateway goes down. So he's going to be building a prism from there, and then he's just got to make as many gates as he can to try and do this big all-in. Stalker in the wall off. He does have a Zealot coming out. The Zealot can help him defend. The Zealot kind of gives away what you're doing a little bit, one could argue. But we'll see. Does that raise Bly's alarm bells? You just saw a Zealot, but it's Haas. He's a weirdo. I mean, he's thinking right now, it's so much more important on these old 4-player maps to go scout for proxies. He hasn't been doing that. Oh god, there's 6 gateways in production. That's 7 gate charge. No Immortals or anything this time around, guys. Warp Prism hasn't started. 7 gate into Warp Prism. 1 more probe starts for Haas, which is a little surprising. No Roachhorn, no gas, very little gas mining. He goes Roachhorn, he puts workers back on gas. Bly does not know what's happening. Single Zealot is going to poke forwards, and he's going to immediately go around here and go, oh, what are you doing? Are you taking a third? What's happening? What's happening? You know, he's trying to figure out what's happening. Haas right now is faking a third base, guys. He wants a Zergling or the Overlord to see this. If Bly sees that probe, which he's about to see, he's about to see the probe. See, he's going to look down the bottom now. He's going to look down the bottom, and he's going to see it. Oh, he sees... He scouts it, though! He doesn't see the fake third. Instead, he sees the robot there. He sees the Zealots coming. He knows 2 spine crawlers are coming. Oh, God, Queens! Interception. Lovely interception. That's going to buy him about 10 seconds. He's got to pull back, though. Bly trying to build 2 spines on this third base. A lot of Zealots. Oh, 2 Zealots getting surrounded by the Zerglings over there as well. Haas going for a big all-in. But Bly has found it, and he's reacting very hard. He's trying to build roaches right now. 4 queens up front, but oh my god, the spines aren't ready yet. Dude, I think the delay on those Zealots might save him. It might save Bly right now. This game's still very close. Haas, he's going to go warp into the natural as well, which is actually going to cause a lot of problems. He can bypass this third entirely and just not fight the spine crawlers, but good pullbacks on the queens. The spine's trying to help out. Another queen does go down. The natural's getting shredded, though. The natural's getting shredded. There's lings on the other side of the map. They were killing a pylon right now. Not the highest priority. Drones going down in the natural. Roaches trying to pull away. Zealots are in here. One more warping into this main or natural could be huge. Queens are there. A few Zealots warp in. He's actually supply blocked his Haas right now, but that's okay. He's going to be losing units, as is Bly. I don't think Bly can get in the choke point, man. I think the Zealots are going to fight so well in the open like this. This is really quite good for Haas. Then again, Warp Prism takes a lot of damage, but there's not much anti-air. The Roachling actually gets together. Oh my god, he's going to overwhelm it. He's going to overwhelm it. Bly manages to overwhelm it. Haas is warping in on top of him. I don't know if that's a good warp in. He needs to bring the Zealot in from the right side. It's going to try and go there and deal with the Zealot Zerglings. It does so. He's going to have to pull back now. Now, Bly does hold, but he loses a lot of drones. And if that Prism harasses his main base, I think Haas could transition. Problem is, I don't know if Haas has any faith in a normal style here. I think he's just going to keep going all in. Bly's trying to drone up, though. Is he being too greedy? I feel like it's kind of obvious that Haas is just going to go for the extra step. There's one thing that's a bit too obvious about Haas in this matchup. It's the fact that he does seem to want to go all in pretty much at every moment of the game. And you can see 5 more drones built, but now Bly's straight back to Roaches, Zerglings, and defensive units. That single gas they're mining. These 2 gases not mining anymore. Spinecrawler in the 3rd, Spinecrawler in the natural. Here comes wave 2, and good pullbacks into a choke point. The Zealots wisely go towards the 3rd base, and I think that's the best thing they could have done here. Try to take out the Spinecrawler, try to get on top of the Roaches. The Stalker does go down. Spinecrawler buys so much time here. The Roaches moving into the open. That 3rd base, the drones there are going to be toasted. The question is, can these Zealots get rid of the 3rd base mining, maybe kill it, and then he can transition behind? Because if he's all in, I think Bly holds. But if he can just do damage and force it in the economic game, then I think Bly still might be in a bad spot. But right now, 26 drones, a big ball of Roaches, Lings, and Queens trying to hang on. Transfusers going down, trying to pull back to the choke point. Excellent play here for Bly. He doesn't have any gas to Morph Ravages to heal those up. But Zealot warping in the main base at the same time. Here we go. More Zealots warping in. These Zealots trying to take care of the 3rd base. Zealots in the main base, though. The Warp Prism gets pushed away. These 2 Zealots going to pull to the right side. They're going to go down. Zealots in the 3rd doing damage. 5, 6 more drones being rebuilt. That's right, guys. We've already seen 15 workers go down. This is still nail-bitingly close. It feels like that big squad of Roaches is getting very efficient fights, though, against the Zealots. Good starter step for Bly. Anytime he's not starter stepping, the Zealots trade really well. But look at that. He's going to try and pull away. Now, he saves them. Oh, my God. So close to losing the Prism. Haas playing with fire right now. He has to build probes. If he builds probes, I guarantee you he wins this game. He's killing the 3rd base. Or if not wins, at least puts himself in a good position. But Haas is on a one-track mind right now. Oh, man. And it might work out. It might work out. The Roaches of Bly going down to defend the 3rd base that's already dead. He needed to turtle up on 2 base. His Roach count's 2 diminished. He's down to 3 Roaches. Haas, with the dogged all-in, has actually found a way on the 4-player map to get it done. And he starts probes. He starts a pylon. If he puts back on gas as well, I think he's got this in the bag. He's going to keep going. I don't know if that makes sense. Oh, that's a crazy attack right there, guys. That is an absolutely crazy attack. The Queens of the Transfuse, the Spines, and the Roaches. He's going to go for it. Haas, the mad dog. When there is an option to gamble and go for a risky decision, Haas always takes it, and it's going to backfire terribly. Oh, no. Oh, no. That was a really bad fight for him. Amazing fight for Bly. Dude, Haas throws away all of his momentum. Now Bly can retake his 3rd base. Oh my God, that threw away his momentum. He's still not back on gas. If he just takes the 3rd and puts back on gas, I think Haas is in a great position, guys. But he's not transitioning. Oh my God. Imagine. Okay, he's back on gas now. Imagine if he was building Immortals here. Imagine if he had a gateway there, Immortals as well. I mean, he should absolutely warp in his Zealot to defend that. Okay, this is wild. So he's got the 3rd base now finally comes down out in the open. But that last fight was actually bad enough that it gives me hope that there is a chance that Bly could bring this back. Lair starts up as well as a 2nd gas. Lair's thinking, Bly's thinking about tech. He's thinking about Mutalisks or Neuroparasite or something like that. Something like really kind of, a bit out there. Zergling's not in big enough number to fight those Zealots, I don't think. Oh, he's going to go for it. Crazy choice. No, Bly, he can kill 1. I don't think he can kill 2. Gets 1. Oh, he's going to get both. Okay. Not bad. He's going to force Haas's entire army to come down as well as him to warp in. He's going to make himself an observer. Dark Shrine's on the way. 3rd base is there. No probing. Only 30 workers for Haas right now. He's not probing right now. Haas, if he goes for a 4th base as well, remember, Bly's also really screwed by not having a 3rd. Because these bases do mine out gradually, remember, guys. These bases are getting very low on minerals here at 10.5 minutes. 3rd base, though, is rebuilding. Still, no probes. Now he starts building probes, does Haas, but he could have already had this 3rd mostly saturated. Shield battery tries to go down there as well. It's crazy to see a guy who's not really building probes go for a shield battery. But, of course, I pulled both of these guys out of retirement, guys. So what can I say? They're not going to have the most perfect play when the game resets, especially with this much chaos. It is indeed Mutas. Wow, Bly's going to try to go Mutas off a tiny economy as well. I love this. He's got to drop a lot. He's going to drop Lings in the main base. This is so smart. Sorry, guys. Hitting the enter key accidentally there. Dude, this is actually so clever, but a big Zealot Immortal's going to hit him. I think he beats it. There's only one immortal. That's a big ball of roaches. Even without roach speed, I think he can just stutter step a bit and beat the crap out of this. And then the Zerglings are going to actually counter him. Dude, Bly's back in this game. Haas just not having a transition here. Overcommitting way too hard. And look at this. Zerglings in the main base. I mean, at least he doesn't attack into the roaches. And he does warp in very quickly. But the Zerglings there taking out 2 probes before they do go down. And forcing that warp in at home also is just so annoying for Haas. And the Zerglings, look at that. He's going to unload them. He's going to unload them and come straight back in. The drop went towards the main base. It pulls back right now. You can see Zealots trying to defend this road. But look at that. Bly lures him away while these 3-4 Zerglings go for the pylon. Haas doesn't notice because he's got so much else going on right now. 3 Zealots are back in the main base. But look at that. Oh, Bly. He's got to finish that off. Going for a giant all-in. He's got force fields available right now. Dude, force fields on that ramp could be deadly. He doesn't have roach speed yet. Oh, okay. Decent force fields, but not as amazing as he was looking for. He traps 4 or 5 roaches. He was looking for like 7, 8 at least, but he's going to take out the 3rd base yet again. Problem is, nothing that shoots out up these 8 Mutalisks are going to ruin his day, man. 9 Mutalisks on the way. Haas thinks he's in a decent spot, but with no blink, no Stargate, he gave up too much momentum with that follow-up attack. Just too stubborn to transition. He realizes, he sees the Mutalisk pop. Did he see the Mutalisk pop? I think he must have seen the Mutalisk pop, guys. Zerglings are back in the main. He's trying to go double Stargate, and he's taking 2 gases on the 3rd at the same time. I think he realizes, yeah, he definitely sees it now. He's going to see that one. The sentries will take care of 1 Mutalisk, but oh my god, the Zealots are in trouble. The Immortals are in trouble. He's going to try and attack. Problem is, it's a wall-off. You actually can't trade here. He's going to have to run home and keep his army alive. Otherwise, he'll lose to the ground army afterwards. The Zealots and Immortals at least can buy him some time. Zealots might be able to defend this base if they can defend that shield battery. You can see those Lings, though, are going to do a lot of damage. Haas needs to get over there to defend right now. Zealots are coming over, and they should be able to defend that base. But the Mutas are out, and surprisingly, the Mutas aren't going for the economy. I really think if those Mutas dived his economy, they could kill 10, 20 probes before the Phoenix are out in decent enough numbers. Right now, we've got 11 Mutalisks. Yes, they kill an Immortal. The Zerglings get pushed back, though. The first 2 Phoenix will be out. If he can get 6 Phoenix, I don't think Bly has the economy to build Mutalisks to take that down. He's only on 34 drones. This was all about one big surprise wave of Mutalisks. I mean, he refills the energy on the battery, which is nice, but oh, Haas flies into him. Oh no, this is US West, by the way. We are alternating servers. This is the server that's meant to favor Haas a little bit more. Problem is, he's got to defend this base. He tries to build a Stalker, but he just can't micro his Phoenix perfectly enough. It's always hard with only 1 or 2 Phoenix against 11 Mutas in this scenario. Another Phoenix does pop out, though. Oh, if he can just get 1 more Phoenix started up, maybe the Zealot's going to try to counterattack to buy him some time. But good Muta micro from Bly, and if Bly can depower those Stargates, he will be able to win this game because Stalkers without Blink are just not going to cut it. Muta's doing massive damage, depowering that, pulling back, and they should take out that red hit point probe, somehow surviving. He's trying to repower the Stargates right now. Phoenix do grab 1 more Mutalisk kill. There is 34 Zealots on this map, but the Roachling refusing to leave the choke point, not going to give them the engagement. If these Stargates were in the main base, maybe, just maybe, Haas could get back in this. With those Stargates exposed on the 3rd, he's going to be in a lot of trouble right now. The Phoenix going down at the front. They both fall. And Bly, once again, on these big 4-player maps, barely survives the chaos of Haas and manages to win the game. All right. 1 game away from sealing the deal with a 9-worker start, 75 minerals. Bly in the top left. Haas in the bottom right. It's Abyssal Reef, a 9-worker start, 75 minerals, so slightly more minerals than normal, 9 workers. This is going to be not that far off what you see in the modern 12-worker game. 9 workers is shockingly close. It is only a 25% reduction of the economy. So 9-worker start is very similar to 12 workers in my experience. I find 8 workers, or even going down to 7, is a much more significant drop where you really feel a drastic change in the pacing. But 9 workers is, well, 7 is drastic. I wouldn't call 8 drastic, just more significant. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. We are on the bottom of the ocean floor. Both players have obviously played this map many times over the years. So I'm curious to see kind of what the heck they're going to go for. Drone's going to go out, and looks like is he going to hatch block? Oh, he wants to go block the Nexus. Okay, so 15 hatchery for Bly. So he's gone Overlord into 15 hatchery, which is definitely, smart. I don't know. Can this actually block the Nexus in time? Once again, Haas has gone gas before Nexus, and I do truly believe Gate Nexus is probably the better opening. Especially if you're going to pull off minerals onto gas. That seems wild. Why would you pull off minerals onto gas? That's going to slow your Nexus down. That's going to make it so easy for this drone to block you. Oh no, Haas. Oh, he cancelled a probe. He saw that coming in. He cancelled a probe to make sure he could start that. Clever. Clever girl. Smart play here. I really like that play by Haas. And, you know, he brings back his other probe, builds a cyber core, so it's a 17 Nexus. 17 or 16 Nexus. Yeah, 17 Nexus, 17 cyber core, I believe is what he went for there. Gas Steel goes down for Bly. I don't think Haas cares too much because he's been mining with 3 workers for so long. And he's actually going to build a backup wall off on the high ground in case the front wall gets breached. Great play there for a bit of safety. On the other hand, Bly does go third hatchery, nice and early. And I don't think Haas realizes that, does he? No, because he pulled back very early. So he's not going to be aware of the greed that he's facing. Then again, I think double chronoing Adepts is just a good stable play anyway. We'll see if Haas opts for it. No, he's going to go Stalker first. So I'd say the big weakness of Haas's play is he seems a bit too reliant on Robo Twilight as well. Like if he could just go Stargate and play like a Sky Toss opening one of these games, I think it would give Bly so much to worry about on a strategic level. And I do think it's part of his game, which is just it would make Bly's life so much harder. You know, it's one of those things, sometimes in StarCraft you want to just play your best strategies, but other times there's something to be said for making it hard for your opponent. Player strategies, maybe you're not as refined at executing, but see what reaction you can get. Robo is on the way, still mining off that single gas. My question would be, is this just the Immortal Zealot all in again? I think it is. Even though he chrono probes, he's missing probe production right now. Oh, he's missing a lot of probe production on that natural. He's missing about a full probe. Stalker and Zealot should be out now. Zealot, I guess, could help wall off. Bit of a derpy wall off here for Haas. And yeah, he starts an Immortal, and he pulls off gas. It's the all-in, guys. He's going all in again. Bly's going to come in from behind, though. If Bly sees that there is nothing building on that Nexus, that's a huge tell. Will Bly notice it? Guys, let's go to Bly's camera. Does he know it's the Immortal Zealot all in again? This all in is famously hard to deal with. It's a full wall off! That in itself is a pretty big tell, man. Is it, though? It's Haas. You're playing against Haas. He's such a weirdo. Okay, he's thinking about a Rotron at the front right now, which is good. Problem is that Rotron, even though it walls off the Zealots, it can get taken down pretty quickly by the Immortal as well. And he's looking around. Bly, we're on his camera. He's trying to figure out what the hell's going on. We know the build, right? It's Warp Prism, 6 gateways, same stuff as always. And Bly, oh, he sees the Immortal! Haas! Oh, the Immortal was left sitting too far out front. And now Bly knows. Roaches, Lings, Spines, anything to defend. Do not make the mistake of building any more drones. He built 4 more drones! Oh god, he built 6 more drones! Bly may have been too greedy, guys. Normally, you can defend this off like 30 workers. If you defend, you're just fine. Spines is a good idea to help make use of those extra drones. He's also got a second gas. He's going to try and build more roaches so that he can get the numbers up and kite against those zealots. So, oh, look at this. He's trying to elevate to the high ground. That's actually adorable as a way of speeding this push up. Very cute. Oh, but he cancels his warp in. Oh, Haas getting a little bit too fancy for his own good there. Now he's going to go for it. There we go. Should unload that Zealot out of that Warp Prism as he gets close to the action as well. Delayed his push by a couple seconds. Not the end of the world. He's in here pretty darn quick. Now, does he just go for the third base? I feel like he's probably going to just camp. Normally you go for the natural, but that is a choke point on the natural. Doesn't really want to fight there. The Immortal does get focused a little bit, but we'll see how good he is at preserving his units. That Immortal can tank a fair bit of damage. One Zealot's taken a lot of damage, but he's already killed a whole bunch of Zerglings. You can see the units lost to have 9 Zerglings. Extractor. Third hatchery goes down, which is going to severely limit the production of Zerg. But 3 Ravagers are making. He's got a Spine Crawler behind the Roach Horn. Zergling count's growing. I think Roach is probably more important than Zerglings. Bly's supply block pretty bad right now. He needs to build more Overlords. He needs to build more Overlords desperately. But I guess a fight's about to happen, so that'll clear up some supply, won't it? Ravager's trying to come forward. He's going to try and put some biles across those Zealots. Does land a few. The Immortal doesn't really have many armored units to be hitting right now. The Zealots come forward. The Spine Crawler doing excellent work. The Immortal adding a little bit of damage, but without any regular roaches to hit, it's not that effective. Now it's doing the big damage to that Spine Crawler. And as the Spine Crawler goes down, remember, Bly built a lot more workers than you're normally supposed to against this push, but he does kite down the Zealots on the right side. Queen's in the main base trying to distract at the same time. The Immortal does get a few big hits off on these roaches. As those roaches spawn, if the Immortal can shift-click those roaches, that'll be big. Warp Prism trying to get back, but oh my god, the Ravagers are here. The Ravagers are here, and they force him to cancel the Warp in, and that is a massive play for Bly, because he knows if he gets rid of the Warp Prism, This build is done. 2 probes start up. You need to put back on gas if you're going to transition, though, as as Haas. It's a 27 drone 2-base Zerg, and I do think there is a lot of really good transition availabilities. He does put workers back on gas, takes a 2nd and 3rd gas, and a 4th gas. So he's going to transition this time around. He's not going to make the same mistake as Frost. On the other hand, I don't think he's as far ahead as Frost. Keep in mind, unit slots tab is still relatively close, but by staying forward with the Immortal, he can definitely do some more work. If he can build another Immortal or 2 when he hits 100 gas, that'll be really big. Just got to be careful not to get bioed down here. And that Prism and these Zealots. Gonna have to be very careful. Run away, Haas. I think it's runaway time, my friend. New drone should be moving out to this 3rd base, but Bly can't find the money right now. He's got the money. He's got the minerals. He's building queens. But he's kind of stopping and thinking about what to do next. Okay, he's going to put workers on the 2nd gas. We'll see what he can do. Behind this, Stalker will take care of the Overlord. Forge and Twilight go down. I'd love to see more Immortal production out of Haas. You've got your opponent stuck on 2 base Roach. You get 3 Immortals out, and you know Bly's heart is going to sink. He does not want to be playing against a guy building multiple Immortals. Luckily for him, Haas is defaulting to the one thing he's obsessed with in his matchup, which is Blink. He's defaulting to Blink play. And I don't think that's bad, but I just don't think it's as good as potentially some other options out there. Then again, if he goes Blink, he goes +1, he's not going to really be weak to Mutalisks like he was in the last game. And he can take a 3rd base nice and early. So definitely, I love that he's transitioning out of this so much smoother. Like, Bly is so afraid. And only now does he start droning. He's been on 32 workers for so long. No 3rd hatchery. It just now starts. But he's been able to defend these sorts of games by doing exactly this. And finally, Haas shows the flexibility and says, maybe if I don't just keep all inning, your follow-up's not very good. And it's like, yeah, we can see the numbers. Of course, Haas can't. Haas will probably door to them after I think he's going to crush in the mid-game. And you'll realize afterwards, was I really ahead off that opening? Yeah, you were really ahead, dude. You killed a ton of the guy's drones. You killed his 3rd hatchery. You were in an amazing position. Now, I think Bly might be thinking about something like maybe Swarm Hosts. Otherwise, it's just going to be pure Roach Ravager, which is also a viable play. Problem is that Stalkers are so good against it. Speaking of Stalkers, comes in, takes out 2 drones. I think that was 2 drones. Total of 12 have gone down this game. 3rd Nexus is there. No probing, or at least not non-stop probing, I should say, for Haas. But he can transfer off this natural. Remember, these mineral patches mining out early means you don't necessarily need to probe up the bases to get value out of it. Just taking the base and transferring workers there can be pretty good. Stalker drop on that left side. Going to be looking for the 3rd. Roach speed and +1's on the way. It does look like Bly is thinking about that. Just mass Roach Ravager. Hope the Protoss overcommits and you take a really good fight and maybe you can get something done. Warp Prism drop. Very nicely done by Haas. Just delaying a bit of mining time. He's kind of screwing around here in between macro cycles. Does manage to take out another Zergling or 2. More Stalkers warping in, still no probes. Bit supply blocked here as Haas does start his +2 weapons, and we do need more pylons for him to start as he transfers workers to that 3rd base. Cannon and battery in the 3rd as well. And he's going to build just 2 pylons. I think he needs about 4 or 5. Infestation Pit goes down for Bly. Infestors could be the play against a guy who's as Blink focused as Haas and stays in the mid game, doesn't really have much of a late game. You can absolutely do something like Infestors. Oh, 2 probes went down. Really nicely done. Normally, it's not a good play to go for Infestors because by the time you get the Infestors out, Protoss has got Storm, more Immortals, all these different things. Your Infestors aren't that valid. But if they're just focusing on Stalkers, which are all about Blink, Infestor disables Blink while it's active on them for the 4 seconds and can be really nice. Queen trying to respread creep out here, but she's going to get caught. That's a good catch there for Haas. You know that Bly doesn't have the money to really be replacing Queens. King Ravager pokes down the ramp, does get pushed back. Queen goes down, as do these creep tumors. Mass Blink attack on the front, no time to get Infestors out. Bly needs to build mass Zerglings, and he needs to try and just buy time with Ravagers. Good spread of Ravager biles, and he already hits the Observer once. Haas going to keep that Observer sieged up to the side now. If Bly sees it and biles it, it will go down. I'd love to see him bile that Observer. Get rid of it so your creep can spread. Already, look at that tumor that he actually got out front. You can see he's bringing the Observer as Haas. He does not want there to be creep. Mass Zergling counterattack. I love it. The cannon and the battery on the 3rd could be good. 4th base into 2nd Robo Bay. Great call here by Haas. And, oh, he lands. Oh my god, he just lost his Prism though. Bit sloppy for Haas there. Loses his Prism. He's got to be careful, man. Nice blink backs for Haas. The Stalkers, Zealots, and Immortals having some fun. Observer goes down to the biles as well. Remember, there's no battery overcharge on this patch. Ling's on hold position. Bly, the master of hold position. Mass Zergling harass. Even with the battery getting refilled on energy, the probes are getting slaughtered here because the battery's too busy healing the cannon. That was a really big Ling harass. It wasn't free. Keep in mind, that was not free, but he just killed 22 workers, guys. Haas should have ran those probes off that base, but he didn't, and he took a lot of damage. Bile lands on the Stalker right now. Remember, guys, Bly is famous for staying in games where he's basically dead. And I will never forget, I've told the story many times, Hero Marine on his stream just being like, oh man, why does he never leave? He's like, this is so stupid. He's just wasting my time. He was basically complaining. He was wrecking Bly in this mech game. And then right when Hero Marine got really frustrated and was like, what an idiot. Why is he wasting time? Bly, like 270 degree, surrounded his army. Locusts, Lings, Ravagers, Neurals. Had one of the most efficient fights of all time that he'd been hunting for like 10 minutes. Crushed Hero Marine's army and won the game. And that's the thing. Bly's capable of that. In this scenario, he doesn't have a lot to work with. He does need to go for those infestors, I truly believe. A few fungal bile combos could be good. Maybe Neuroparasite. Disruptors are going to be a problem. Now, remember, Disruptors are heavily nerfed, guys. Heavily nerfed against Roach Ravager. I'm looking forward to Haas finding out how nerfed they are. I'm just kidding, of course. I'm sure he's probably played a little bit on the new patch, but since he is mostly retired as a pro player these days, I'm not sure how familiar he is with that new Disruptor. You know, it's got the radius back to its OG radius, but it's only doing 100 damage a shot. And it's actually Swarmos and Tunneling Claw Roaches. Bly going for all the fancy tools. He's maxed out, but he's got to be careful. This army's gotten around him. Bad map control for Bly. He needs to hold that high ground with the Ravagers. If those Stalkers get over here, he's screwed. Honestly, Haas could blink in. He's going to blink in. Oh, Haas blinks in. The Disruptor shot. Oh, first Disruptor shot lands. Doesn't actually kill the Ravagers, though. As I said, Swarmos popping into the fight. A second Disruptor shot. Third one goes out. Doesn't quite land that big. Oh, man. Haas might be going a little bit too deep right now. He tries to pull back. One Disruptor goes down. Two more very weak there. Force Field's trying to stop him from getting chased. The Ravager Ling chasing him down. No. Is Bly actually making the comeback? This is what I'm talking about. Locusts, Ravagers, and Zerglings. Bly has made magical comebacks with this composition before. But he's got to be careful of those Disruptors. Those Biles across the front are big. Just for buying him time. Remember, it takes 2 Biles to kill an Observer now. Bly does seem to realize that as he's hit Observers a few times with Biles in this game. There's another one. Oh, he takes the Disruptor shot. He does take the Disruptor shot. Bly clicks on it a little bit too late there. Took a bit too long to target fire, and it did massive damage to his Roach Ravager. Would have been much worse, of course, if it actually one-shot the units. Haas, no doubt, in disbelief, going, what the hell did they do to my Disruptor? What did they do to my Disruptor, man? Swarmhost in the bottom side of the map, trying to get in for a counterattack. Bly, his 4th base is finally coming up, but it's going to get focused down, and that means 4 base versus 3 base is going to be really good for Haas. Even though Haas took an awful fight just before, he's still in a great spot. Double ball goes out, takes out a bunch of Roach Ravager. Lovely move. Stalkers continuing in to push towards the 3rd. He's going to get a 3rd base. Oh, Bly moving outside is going to get punished. I think that might be the huge mistake that costs Bly the game. I mean, we're not saying cost him the game. Sorry, a better way of saying that is puts him in the grave. I think he might be dead now because he has to push him back. He saves the 3rd hatchery. Biles across the front line. Locusts, by the way, ravaged the natural, but the probes did pull away. Some probes go down. It's up to now 34 probes, so another 9 probes just went down. Disruptor in the open. The Roach Ravager would love to take care of that Disruptor. He's trying to click on it, and he does take care of the Disruptor in the sentry on the way home. Swarm hosts are burrowed, but there's an Observer with this army coming back. He knows where it is. Haas knows there's got to be Swarm hosts down here somewhere. You're hiding somewhere in this corner of the map, and as the Observer arrives, he'll have confirmation. Does he, though? Oh, no. He pulls away. Oh my god, Bly just counting his lucky stars right now. If he can throw Locust and unburrow and run away and save those, that would be so massive. But I think he realizes, Haas realizes, he's like, no, you have to be here. And he finds the Swarm host. The blink forward, the Locusts come out. Can they get a Stalker kill? Answer is no. Great catch there for Haas. Now, Bly did keep his 3rd base alive, doesn't have a 4-3 building. He's going to go for Tunneling Claw, Roach Harassment. There is a cannon on the 3rd, the 4th. Nothing in the main or the natural, so actually the left side of the map. Oh, but that's walled off. So he kind of has to go through here and get the Roaches spotted either way. Mass Ravager morphing, 15 more Ravagers. He's going to have 22 Ravagers, guys. Great Biles landing on the Protoss army. Roach is going to come in, but there's Stalkers and a cannon there. The Roach is going to have to run into the main base. That's their best bet. He's trying to do hold position on the gas. Biles landing on the front line. Haas taking massive Biles, but he's got big balls. Luckily, the rocks have gone down. Ravager's very chunky. If they run out of space to micro, they could be screwed, man. Oh, no, the balls go too far forward. Haas! Oh, my God, he leaves all of his Disruptors out front. Only 1 shot lands on the Ravagers. A disastrous engagement. The Tumbling Claw Roach distraction working out for Bly. Holy crap, what am I watching right now? This is actually so freaking fun. The Ravagers and Roaches, Bly trying to make the epic comeback. He's trying so freaking hard to make the epic comeback, but he just can't quite do it yet. He's down 15 workers. He needs this 4th base to survive. He killed all the disruptors. He cleared the tech out. It's mostly just Blink Stalkers. 2-1 against +2. Blink forward. Does he have the numbers? Is Haas? Oh, he might have just been far enough ahead for far enough along that he can actually do that. A crazy move, but it might just be the one that pays off. Drones transferring through the fight. They get taken down. Disruptor ball on the ramp is going to push back Bly, landing out on a Roach and a Ravager. And it looks like Haas here is not going to go down 4-2. Despite some botched engagements into the vials, into the disruptors running forward and getting themselves just shot down. Haas has the numbers and just barely takes down Bly. Ties up the series 3-3. Alright, guys. Well, it's a 50 mineral start here. 10 worker start as well, as we go back in time to Shakura's Plateau. Bottom left side, we've got Haas. Top right, we've got Bly. And this is going to be interesting, to say the least. Now, interestingly, Bly is on out of 13 supply, as is Haas, which means 5 supply hatchery. Okay, fair call, fair call. So it is 5 supply for a hatchery with 10 work. Okay, I guess because it would be between 4 or 5, yeah, and you're kind of splitting the difference whichever way you go. Fair enough, that does make sense. Does seem like it's okay here, as we are going to decide the series. Going to be a chrono on the probes. I asked the players, I said, do you guys want an old map or a new map to decide the series? They both said old map. They said, hey, we're here to have some fun, show some content, you know, have some good games. We don't care about balance. Like, we like adapting to the weird problems and figuring it out as we go, which is obviously the opposite of a lot of players out there, but both of these are creative and aggressive players. So I went, you know what, let's go right back in time. Shakura's Plateau, the bases are incredibly spread out. Now, the thing is, you can wall off the bases and defend quite easily as Protoss, but they're very spread out. Middle areas of the map, you've got these high ground areas with some nice force fields, sight blockers, watchtowers that are good for Protoss, but also, like, it's kind of wide open in a few of these areas, which is very good for Zerg. So I really feel like the map, is it favored really hard one way or another? I'm sure people are going to be shouting, oh, this is so unfair for this or that. But I don't think the players are going to be up to date on what's most overpowered here and that good at abusing it. And you know what? Hey, we are going to be seeing a gate expand for Haas up against a blind hatchery first for Bly. I wonder what Bly's going to bring out. Does he go for a big Nidus all-in? Does he try to sneak the Mutalisks out? I mean, it feels like this series, for the most part, has just been Haas throwing Robo and Twilight all-ins. And Bly trying to defend them. And I really feel like if Haas does that Stargate that I was talking about, if he plays Sky Toss, I think he might be finding a very unprepared Bly. What? Is he going to do the same charge lot all in from Frost guys? He might. Oh my god. Or does he just go straight Gateway? I think he's going to go Robo. Oh, Proxy Stargate. He's going to go Oracle. But the Overlord's going to see it. The Overlord's going to see it. Now, the pylon is protected, mostly. It can only get targeted by a little bit. Does he see it? He should see it. I think as he passes there. He sees the probe, which is enough. And he does see the pylon. Yeah. Oh, this is big. I don't think Haas needed to proxy it this close. I think he should have put it in the corner. I think Haas should have put this in the corner. I think this was unnecessarily far forward. Ooh, and this is going to cost him, potentially. Depends, though. He's got an Adept. If he builds a gateway up there as well, actually, you know what? I would absolutely go for the gateway or consider, and I'd go gateway there, and then I'd go Void Ray. Void Ray to kill the Overlords, because then if he wants to get rid of it, he needs to move army all the way up to the high ground, whereas otherwise he can snipe from the low ground with Roaches. So I'd go Void Ray probably second after the Oracle. Zerglings are coming forward, Adepts heading over there as well. I think the Oracle should get out, because remember, only 1 or 2 Zerglings can get in there and attack that at a time. And that's going to be really nice. Bly is building a 3rd and 4th Queen right now. But as long as Haas's macro is on point, he could turn this Stargate proxy into a Stargate macro play. Remember, the Oracle, when it runs out of energy, can go back, refill at the Nexus, and come back to the front. Stargate takes a lot of damage without link speed to run away. Haas should turn that laser beam on right now. And there we go. He's going to have a feast on these Zerglings. 4 Zerglings go down. I like the way Bly hides these ones. And he's going to go straight back in now. He's like, hey, guess what? Your Oracle's gone. Let's go. The Oracle's like, ah, crap. So he's actually going to be able to kill the Stargate. Wow. That's big, man. So now it's a single Oracle into 2-gate Twilight build. The Oracle should really go get more energy. It's going to go threaten the main, but 4 Queens and 2 Spore Crawlers. Bly is very safe. Of course, Bly's economy is not great. Oracle comes back. It's going to turn on its laser. And he's just going to A-move it. Not really going to micro that Oracle at all. And it will run out of energy very fast. So that pylon is inevitably going to be falling. Behind this, thinking about a third base is Haas. I like that he's already walling off, because if you can full wall that with a few gateways, of course, very hard for Zerg to assault up that ramp, or even if you just get a sentry on the high ground, right? It's so hard to attack into this. So he's going for third base blink play, and Bly, I mean, he's been very good at stopping aggression, but I like that Haas is like, hey, I have an Oracle, I fill it up with energy, he's just used energy recharge on it, he can use this to defend a lot of the pressures. He should probably save his energy for now, because he's only got the one Oracle, can't build any new ones. And Stalkers are building. Now, Bly doesn't know about that third base up top. He's just not expecting Proxy Stargate into such a quick third, especially not with Haas being so two-base for most of the series. Overlord goes down. Zerglings still don't know about that. And Bly does not have a third, guys. Now, his lair's about to finish. He's on 4 gases. The question is, are we going to see Mutalisks, Hydras, Infestation Pit? What is the tech? As he goes for a macro hatchery in the back, blind, not rushing for an early third at all. He sees it, and he sees the wall off. And he's going to be like, oh man, you already got a third base most of the way done. What's the response for Bly? Bly needs to make that his mind up right now. He's going to go Spire. He's going to play very 2-base heavy on the Spire, is Bly. And of course, Haas is like, dude, where's the third base? He's so worried. But he sees the Spire, and he sees it right after it starts, which is massive. Now, there's 2 ways to counter this. One, go for a Stargate, start making Phoenix. The other one, which is more common, is just to attack with Blink, force him to make a lot of Roaches and Ravages, spend all of his gas on that, and thereby not be able to make the Mutalisks, or at least not make them in a significant number to be a threat. Creep spread's pretty good, and there is no way of dealing with that beyond the Oracle Revelation, so that could help out quite a lot as the creep continues to try to spread to the south. Stalker Oracle coming forward, nice Revelation, cancels one of the active tumors. The other active tumor down south will finish though, and I think Bly is going to count his lucky blessings that that's the case. He's trying to make Roachling to defend. I think Haas may have just out-macroed him here on Shakura's Plateau, guys. Even though the Proxy Stargate didn't get that much damage, like it just killed a few Zerglings, Bly built 4 Queens and 2 Spores on 2 base, and I think that's a huge cost for him. And Haas's macro was surprisingly good behind it. Good transfuses, man. Very good transfuses coming in. Finally, a Ravager goes down, but not before a couple of Stalkers do fall. Then again, with Blink Micro, it is still looking very tough for it. Bly, Roach Ravageling on the front. He's going to try and fight up here to defend the creep tumors. And look at that, the Blink forward comes. Oh my god, crazy Blink forward, but it's the right call. The Oracle joins in as well. Bly doesn't have the numbers. Bly was playing a bit too tricky on 2 base. He doesn't quite have the macro chops. And Haas swapping into a macro build here with the 10 workers start, playing a bit more of this standard style. And it's so good when you've been all inning all series long. Bly was trying to simplify things for himself by staying 2 base, but 2 base cannot keep up with a 3 base blink play, and this is just such an excellent change-up of strategies for Haas. I was calling for Stargate the whole time. I didn't expect it to be a proxy Oracle that failed, question mark, but it seemed to have forced enough of a response, forced Bly out of his comfort zone, that Bly is struggling on 2 base Roach, Ravager, Zergling against the Stalkers. Roach, Zergling, Ravager coming down now. Stalkers moving down. It's funny when you see these higher work start games how the basic units become so important, and just adding one single tech, something like Blink to them, has such power because you've got such a big economy you're working off so early in the game that you end up with a lot of tier 1 units fighting. So it's kind of funny. We talk about how tech kicks in later and is therefore less impactful when you play on higher worker starts, like in modern StarCraft. But, oh, he's chasing him back. He's chasing him back. I'll finish that thought in a moment. Another Stalker goes down. Another Stalker goes down. He does get him off the high ground. Gets quite a few Stalker kills there, man. I mean, remember, Bly's always capable of comeback. This is not over by any means. Even though it should be, Haas is very capable of throwing from here. Bly's very capable of making a comeback. So as I said, when it comes to things like Stim, Combat Shields, Blink, Charge, Roach Speed, these sort of abilities are more powerful than ever on a high worker start game. You can see Roach Speed is now here, but he's still outnumbered in Blink, +1, and similar Stalker numbers. I will always take the Stalkers over the Roaches any day. Bly trying to micro as best he can, but he's down 15 workers. If he's not crushing these army fights, this just might be the beginnings of the end. The Roaches come out, get one more Reddit point Stalker. Shouldn't have blinked that guy forward, I guess. 49 workers, not enough for Bly. He's trying to hang on, but he's just got nothing to deal with the Stalkers. And yet again, Haas abuses that Blink and then dive and rotate back to Blink back from the high ground. I love the way he's utilizing this map. Haas remembering how to abuse the weird terrain on these old maps and doing it so nicely. I wish we had more maps with crazy ledges and crazy base layouts like this, because it really does just create a lot of different play, and there are certain things that are very powerful and hard to stop. But I mean, there's always a way you can play around it, right? In a strategy game, there's always a lot of options and different things you could have done to not end up in that situation in the first place. So I think having a few overpowered things, not making the game as stable, could actually add a bit more ludicrousness. I love what Grant was saying in his video about, you know, we shouldn't be patching out the obscenely powerful and silly overpowered stuff. You know, we should have a little bit more of that in StarCraft 2. And I don't know, this experiment here, as I think Bly's going to be dying in a minute or two, has just really been about, yeah, how do we get some of that obscenity back in the game? How do we get some of the silliness, the over-the-top crazy build situations where you're just like, what the hell? How often do you see Stalkers diving there, blinking, rotating up, and then blinking back to the low ground and doing this Stalker circuit, abusing this third that Bly has been suffering from in this game. He's going to try and defend his natural with Roach Ravager Biles while sneaking some Mutalisks across the map. I'd love to see Bly send his other Mutalisks on a different control group. I don't know if he's that advanced. Looks like he's probably just going to send these to his main army for now. Muta's getting ready to go in the main. There's a cannon and a battery there. 81 probes for a Haas. Man is so rich right now. And these Mutalisks fly in, but look at that, dude. It's 8-gate Blink Stalker. The Mutas need to get out of there. The Mutalisk trying to run away. The Stalkers are chasing them. Third base is going to go down yet again. Hatchery falls down there. Mutalisks for Bly doing some damage, but every Mutalisk needs to kill like 15 probes to bring this game back. He is in a disastrous position. He's doing the double Muta arrest. I did not think he would actually do this. I was like, oh, it's a bit hard to do. You wouldn't do that. But Bly absolutely is here to put on a show. Like he said, he is here to have some fun, try some different things. He does the double Mutalisk harass, kills about 20 workers there, which is nice. Fortunately, a few of his roaches do run to the low ground and get taken out. And I mean, his base is mining out. His main's down to 3 mineral patches. His natural's down to 6 mineral patches. Mutalisks getting fended off by the Stalkers. And batteries going down on that 4th base as well. It's a lot of stasis traps here. Stasis trap spam, something players love to do with that energy recharge these days. Roach Zergling trying to run to the low ground. He's not really sure exactly where all these stasis traps are. Mutas go back in the north, but Stalkers, every time they kill a Mutalisk, something that Bly can't really afford, and those Stalkers could even blink to the low ground there. I mean, they might lose the fight, which is why I guess Bly thought about it, thought about it twice. Oh, he tries to trap him, but the Mutalisks barely escape. Going to start to take down these rocks on the north side. Roachling moving out across this map. Oracle with an ice tag. Dude! Haas is on the friggin' pillar! Wait, is that Australia? Guys, this looks like Australia. I never realized this rock here looks like Australia. Okay, he's going to move over into Western Australia, blinking back out into the northern area, just north of Darwin up there. But so far, okay, he blinks back into Sydney, Melbourne, and Brisbane over here on the East Coast. And he's going to just take up station on that friggin' high ground. Dude, that's awesome, man. Haas is having fun. He's like, all right, Bly, you're going to make it hard to kill you. That's fine. That's a lot of mutas. That's 18 mutas. But with 2-1 upgrades, soon to be 2-2, I think the Stalkers are more than a match for them. 58 Stalkers in this game. Does he have any in the main base, though? Looks like the answer is only 3. And the Muta's going to take on that fight. No upgrades on those Mutalisks. More Stalkers coming in as well as more Warpins. Nice recharge on the battery to help heal that cannon up. And these Mutalisks, they can't really afford to trade, you know? They need to just catch workers, catch free damage. The Stalkers now going to assault their front. Haas has had enough funny business from Bly. The drones are forced off the line. He blinks on top and Haas says, taste my Stalker. Take that, Mr. Zerg boy. The Mutas do go back in the main, break the Stalkers there, but as more Warpins come, the upgrades are so good, and this is the big squad that was defending up north. He's got so many Stalkers. Still 50 Stalkers, even after killing the army. Haas wins the series 4-3. And we close it out at Shakura's Plateau. That was a very fun series. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and if you want to see more matches here on the Random Mod. Big shout out to Day9 for such a fun idea. GG, well played.